Greetings, Tecmo Super Bowl fans. I am joined in the booth once again by Old Dirty Tecmo. Welcome to the broadcast. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Happy to be here and just trying to build up some good karma with the Tecmo gods, helping out here as much as I can.
Well, you certainly paid your dues. Today we have a matchup between Suicide King as the Atlanta Falcons against Cinderella Story Randywags, who beat Rico, the original Tecmo Milwaukee champion, to move on to this round. This is an elimination game for both these players in the loser's bracket. Randywags piloting the Phoenix Cardinals, and here we go.
Be interesting to see which quarterback Randy comes out with. Rosenbach gives him a little bit of jump pick protection, but he throws an awfully slow ball that Dion's going to be able to cover a good bit of ground, making it even possible that the Falcons could get away with calling a little bit more run on defense than they normally can.
And in this matchup, you have really good secondary play. Obviously, you got Dion on the Falcons side. You've got Lonnie Young and Tim McDonald on the Cardinals. And then you've got two pretty fast running backs in Johnny Johnson and Mike Rozier. So very similar. I think where you get the edge on the Cardinals is going to be the overall team defense. And then the edge for the Falcons is going to be in the wide receiver department with Collins and Risen streaking down the field.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of playbook Phoenix comes out with, because I'm a strategist. I would particularly pick on Dion as much as possible, forcing the Falcons to, maybe look at somebody like, one of the other DBs or Mike Gann. I think he's at 50 MS, can at least give you a little bit of man speed.
Nice play there on the dive. That's Gerald's favorite play is run two off the middle, squashes it with Young, goes right back to it, gets caught by the drone. But Lonnie Young with that recovery speed there, 3rd down and 3 coming up for Suicide King. Back to the pro set. This time going with Harvey, getting popcorn off engaged blocker to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, and out across the 50 to the 47-yard line of Phoenix. Lonnie Young, not really any reason in my mind to take him off the trigger unless he thought he was calling pass. Going over the middle to Collins on pass 3, into the end zone, touchdown.
Just a beautiful pass, wow.
And it's definitely Miller time. Raise him if you got him.
I like the, run, hit him deep. It was a nice approach. When I have the Falcons, I'm usually taking earlier deep shots to Risen to try to open up the run game, but I like the reverse approach. Very effective.
With the effectiveness of calling run one while still having some pass coverage in the defenders that he has on the back end, you'd like to think maybe he would start to sit on that play and try to lock down that dive play so he doesn't have to worry about it as much.
Yeah. With this slow Phoenix offense and the playbook coming out, it's going to be tough. I really think Dion's going to have a good game.
Run directly at Sanders. Johnny Johnson bouncing at the opposite direction. And out at the 30-yard line for a first down. Patient run there by Randywags. Got a called pass 1. Dangerous throw to the top against Dion, who can jump pick them and was in perfect position to deflect that pass.
Yeah, I think he's one notch short against Rosenbach, but in the second quarter, anything could happen.
Red gun Z formation here. Pearl open over the top. Johnson underneath is indecisive, and John Raid cleans him up on the back end, and now he's got 4th and a mile, time to punt it back.
That's an example where I think Tupa might have been able to make a play there with a little bit more passing speed, perhaps.
Risen on the return, out past the 20 to the 25. One-on-one situation, jukes to the 30, 31, and out of bounds. Wisely avoiding contact is Suicide King. 1st and 10, red gun Z formation coming here. And it looks like he's going to go back to Ken Harvey on defense for that nickelback look. And so expect this to go to Ryzen down below.
I like it. Oh.
Errant throw, you get that when it's Miller time. Or Millen time for that matter. You get a lot of that garbage out of bounds.
And for those wondering, generally, JJ and long passes are part of the game, but in this matchup, if you're not dropping back and taking your shots at Ryzen, you're doing your entire team a disservice. So I don't think anybody would ever balk at someone taking their fair share of shots deep.
Packer fans can relate this to Sterling Sharp is always open.
That's right.
Same concept. You throw it up, you see what happens. Nice completion. Moving the ball here. Suicide King looking pretty efficient on
1-2. Nope.
To pass 3 here, and he's going to have the underneath, and he's just going to hang on to the ball. Miller time out near the first down marker, 2nd down and 1 coming.
9 yards, you take that all day. My thought is if I'm Phoenix, if you start seeing that run 2 a lot, you might want to call pass 3 and man Harvey so that you can set yourself up with the secondary behind you to help out with that run.
Great pass, beats the defender over to Sean Collins, touchdown Falcons.
2 touchdowns on that same route. Perfectly executed.
It seems to be that's the play that's the dagger right now for Suicide King. He knows the timing, he knows the cross route. He's done this before. And this is a South team you have to consider. He is from the Bayou area, so Falcons are not going to be anything that he's not familiar with, especially playing games with the New Orleans Saints.
And definitely I'm liking the Falcons on defense against this playbook. So 2 touchdowns back, it's going to be a hard road for Randy. He's going to have to work some of the magic like he did against Rico.
And now run 3 out of bounds, fumbled, 5-yard loss, called play. Lucky that it went out of bounds. That could have been a scoop score right there. Right back to the run 3. Johnny Johnson has a blocker. He doesn't wait for it. Gets what he can there as the drones were in tow. And now we've got 3rd and 7. Looking like a pass 3 coming here. And it is called. Throws it to Ernie Jones, who is covered. And now down 2 scores.
Oh, that's a tough call. I wouldn't fault him on either choice here, I think.
Hard to run this with Rosenbach to get 7 yards. But now he's got a shot. The issue is that Jones here is going to get caught up, I think, by Sanders before this gets there. But he overruns it. He caught up so fast he went right by Ernie Jones. First down, JJ. Tuggle completely avoiding all of the blockers there, but also missing the runner. 1st and 5.
Nice approach by both players there. That was just good Tecmo.
And Ernie Jones in bad. We see our explanation how that last play took effect, that first down. Thompson in good, Sekahema in average. Single back formation here, back to run 3. This time Sanders gets engaged, and I don't know if he was expecting a run 1 there.
It kind of looked that way.
Back to the single back.
But I would be careful the time here. Perhaps Falcons could take a few risks on defense. If they give up a quick score with Ryzen, they could easily answer right back.
2nd and 10 from the 12-yard line. Back to Johnny Johnson and into the end zone. So I guess you take him when you can get him.
Absolutely, but there's time.
So if Randywags can keep Suicide King out of the end zone, that'll be a great, or even just out of points range in general here.
Yeah, you want to get a deep kick here. Try to cause him to have to, maybe call a run play to buy enough time for Ryzen to get downfield. And maybe you can call his play and get out unscathed here.
And for anyone who's wondering near the end of the half, basically he's selling out for the JJ here, trying to get speed and hands down the field as fast as he can.
I wouldn't mind seeing Rozier at tight end, but perhaps he's going to call a run play first. Oh, he went away from Ryzen.
Up to Collins, who does have, I think, 50-50 in the way of receptions and speed. And just over his head.
Yeah, it ended up being a good call. I thought he'd be way short, but that noodle arm of Miller allowed him to get down there. It was a nice attempt.
Yeah, as combination of speed and slow quarterbacks goes, I don't know if there's a better one in the game for that end of that last prayer situation.
Yeah, Miller to Ryzen. Yeah, you could call a play from the 10-yard line and strike pretty easily. I really wish I knew what condition Dion was in, just because he is literally the entire defense.
Maybe your future tournament will use a round that lets you check defense and mix it up a little bit. We'll see. But the goal has always been for this tournament to replicate something of help people get better at traditional tournament play. The exception being is that the player 2 stats are corrected for this to normalize it for newer players.
Right. I think that's a good call. I'm definitely 99% of the time in support of that. But the condition checker is pretty cool.
Red gun pass 4 coming up here. 3 receivers open if he wants it. Underneath to JT Smith. Out past the 20, out of bounds at the 20-yard line, bounces back so he doesn't make contact. Smart play. Looks like a called pass 1. Nice evasion by Rosenbach. Had lots of open options, but I don't think he had enough time in his head to process which person to tap to.
Did you catch what condition Rosenbach's in? Is he an average?
I did not see. If you saw in the comments, let us know.
Yeah, that's right. One good thing to know is if Rosenbach goes into good, he's equivalent to Majkowski. It's pretty dominant then.
Yeah, 25 MS is as a weapon for a quarterback. So Randywags, as player 2 here, definitely has an uphill battle. Is going to need to hopefully hold Suicideking to no points on this possession. Sean Collins in good, so he should be 56-56 on his receptions and maximum speed. Not surprised by this at all. Collins has been dominant at the tight end position all game. And he has the stretched speed on top end here. You've got Ryzen down below on this play and Collins up top. Puts a lot of pressure, even on Alani Young. And we see already the ball going down. Almost caught. Almost impossible to defend.
Almost. And I like the pass because that's going to keep the defense honest and it's going to open up the short passing game, which you desperately need with such a slow passing speed quarterback.
And Suicideking winning the taps battle by 10-9 there. turned a short run into a long gain. Nice play there. I'm going to see this again. It's going to be Collins or Risen. And he keeps it on the ground. Miller accidentally goes out of bounds there. The other thing I like about the long balls on that end of the field is just the amount of clock it chews.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with going short there. A second short is a great opportunity to take a long shot. If, long as you're careful. Worst case, you should be looking at a third and short.
This time we have a called pass. One gets
caught
and fumbled and recovered by Bill Fralick, who's now doing the zigzag dance. Not sure why he went out of bounds. You can't fumble it twice on the same play. But
can't be too careful, huh?
It must just be those nerves. This is an elimination game, folks. Lonnie Young doesn't take on the blocker. Does get some drone help, but so does Suicide King and now Rozier's in the open. But the drones catch up the last moment. That looked like it was going to be a touchdown. Taken away.
Hawkins in the driver's seat.
And now Miller in good. It is definitely Miller time. Collins isn't good. Haynes isn't bad. I don't expect him to make the field. Keith Jones isn't bad.
Miller and good. That'll offer a 19 MS, 38 passing speed, 50 pass control. If you want to play control ball, work the clock, get a score here, nice to have on your side.
And I expect him just to keep this on the ground. And another fumble out of bounds at the 11, second and 6.
Especially in field goal range, think of the game in possessions. You cannot fumble here.
3rd down and 4, critical here for both players. Pass 3, it's been good all day. Miller keeping it on the ground, getting the first down, again dangerously inbounds. Clock is running. I expect the full tick to happen here. Single back, goes with the QB sneak, calls his own number. Somehow gets through the mess into the end zone, touchdown. I don't even Houdini. I mean, he's playing the Hollow Man impression. That's incredible.
The little ghost dad.
Now you see me, now you don't.
Well, he did what he needed to do. I don't agree with the calls there and the cutting back in, but pays off.
Down 2 scores. Randywags definitely has an uphill battle here, but we've seen him come back from similar situations here. He's going to need to get a quick score. He's going to need to get a defensive stand, hopefully a turnover. The onside kick option as player 2. Fortunately, in this ROM has not been dealt with. I don't know if it has been on any side. It's much more difficult for player 2 to recover. Less than a 1% chance to recover an onside kick versus a much higher percentage as player 1.
And even just scoring. They have 7 points all game here in a slow offense. Just doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Going with run 3. Getting the break he needs there with the popcorning, but Sanders is going to catch up here before too much damage is done out past the 50 to the 49-yard line. So nice run, but it does chew up quite a bit of time. You need a score here the next 1 or 2 plays.
Just go to...
It might be a little late of a throw here, but it's actually perfectly timed to Johnny Johnson over the top of the defense.
Randy is clutch. Man, he just seen amazing clutch plays out of this guy.
Just when you think he's out, he's back in, folks. 21-14, and let me see if he does a full kickoff here or if he tries to shorten the field.
Try to go with a short kick, maybe sneak a fumble in.
So percentage-wise, that's really the way that you'd almost have to go would be the try to go for the short fumble approach, but instead he tries to go for the onside, and the odds stay where they typically are in that situation. And now Miller can run it. He takes the risk, goes over the top. Defenders catch up in a hurry there. It looked like Risen was off to the races there, and they close the distance. Normally that throw's not on target. This time Miller just keeps it on the ground, gets 10 yards on second down, or 9.5. and Harvey gets pancaked. Now Rozier gets that critical first down, and now the clock is ticking. Timeout is used. You must have to hope for a turnover here. Called play, something crazy.
Yeah. All these tackles in bounds. It could happen.
And it looks like Collins is streaking open as the tight end.
Oh, boy.
But terrible throw this time. If he goes to the top of the screen, that throw might have made it.
Yeah, this seems to be a little bit more successful from the top.
Going cross field here on those routes, those are not the optimal ones, especially with this quarterback. The receivers are too fast. There's a kind of a sweet spot where if you get past it, it no longer goes, or it's very unlikely to go. And so decision time here. Getting sacked, yeah.
Should be able to run it out. Oh, no.
And gets tackled off the edge. Ken Harvey with the... Not even a punt block, just tackles the punter.
Tell you what, if he pulls this off, then he's probably the most clutch player that I've seen. I'll be ultimately amazed.
Pass 3 for all the marbles here. 7 seconds remaining.
Goes with the blitz.
And the pass block. So, Suicide King dodges the bullet, takes this one, advances in the tournament 21-14. Randywags doing his part to keep the crowd entertained. And if you look at most of the stats are pretty close, minus the runs for Atlanta.
Yeah, 5 first downs usually won't get it done in Tecmo. But very good game. Entertaining. Good luck to Garrett in the next round.
Randywags has nothing to be ashamed of. He went blow for blow with some Tecmo veterans and proved he belongs in this scene. I'm very excited for what he's going to do in future events, both local and online. Suicide King, the hardy veteran from the South, will continue in this to play Matty D, who is I believe a Final Four, or he's either Final Four or Elite 8. I can't remember from last year's Madison. So he's a top guy who only recently was knocked down into the losers bracket. So he has a test ahead of him to Suicide King. So this was a lot of fun. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, hit thumbs down. Let us know your thoughts about the game in the comments section. And signing out for Old Dirty Tecmo, this is Trojan. We'll catch you next time on GBLAN Online Tecmo.